ज्ञानातिमन्दस्य चरंसनाशका चक्षुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिच्चैतन्यमनोपिष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वामुपकदाम्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीयुतापादकमलं शिवं वैष्णवंश श्रीरूपं जगद्धातं सगणरघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं सद्वैतं सर्वदूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य देवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदां सकललितशिवशाकं वितं स हे कृष्णकरुणा दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त नमस्ते तप्त कंसना गौरी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्ववाणी सुतदेवी प्रणमामि पंकजकल्पवृक्षा कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो पतितं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravanya Pachayani Nirvishesha Srimavadi Paskachayani Dasatani Srila Prabhupada Ki. So this morning we are starting with the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the divine and demoniac natures. We have first a summary of this section. Chapter 15 describes the banyan tree of the material world. The modes of material nature nourish both the upper auspicious and divine branches of the tree and the lower demoniac branches. In the 16th chapter, Krishna first explains the divine qualities that elevate one on the tree and ultimately lead to liberation. The Lord then explains in detail the demoniac qualities and the mentality which drive one lower and lower on the tree and ultimately to hell. He explains also the advantages and disadvantages of these qualities. Now, in the first 3 verses, we will hear 26 qualities that should be cultivated according to different statuses of social order and occupational order. If these qualities are developed by the practice by all men, then surely it is possible to rise to the highest platform of transcendental realization. So we have in this 26 transcendental qualities, divine qualities. And the first 3 are the qualities of a sannyasi. Now we will be reading these verses 1 to 3. And then Prabhupada discusses these qualities. So we will go over practically each of these qualities. And Srila Prabhupada gives his own definitions based on the scriptures on these qualities and its importance. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Abhayam Sattva Samsudhir. Jnana Yoga Vyavastiti. Dhanam Dhamma Sajakyasya. Svatyastapa-archavan, ahimsa satyamakodas, tyaga santir apaisanam, dayabhute saluluptvam, Madhavam Rech Achapalam Te Chakshamatiti Chacham Adronati Manita Bhavanti Sampadam Devim Abhiyatasya Bharata. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, the cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault fighting, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharat, belong to godly man endowed with divine nature. So, at the end of the first paragraph, Srila Prabhupada writes, in the 16th chapter, the Lord explains both the transcendental nature and its attendant qualities, and the demoniac nature and its qualities. He also explains the advantages and disadvantages of these qualities. At the end of the next life, so in the next paragraph, Srila Prabhupada refers to the word abhijatasya, that one born of transcendental qualities, and the Prabhupada mentioned that to get a godly child, one must do the Garbhodhan Samskar first. Then one will attract the pious soul. So, of course, sex life is not condemned, provided the process is used in Krishna consciousness. Those who are in Krishna consciousness at least should not beget children like cats and dogs, but should beget them so that they may become Krishna conscious after birth. At the end of the next paragraph, the qualities mentioned herein are explained as transcendental qualities meant for making a person progress in spiritual understanding so that he can liberate it from the material world. And then Srila Prabhupada speaks about the Varnashram system. The sannyasi is the head or the spiritual master of all the social statuses and orders. The Brahmin is considered to be the spiritual master of the three other sections of society, namely the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. The sannyasi is on top of the institution, is considered to be the spiritual master of the Brahmins also. For a sannyasi, the first qualification should be fearlessness. Because sannyasi has to be alone without any support or guarantee of support, He has simply to depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That if one thinks, after I leave my connections, who will protect me? He should not accept the renounced order of life, and so on. Further, Krishna, even if I live in the darkest regions of a forest, still I shall be accompanied by Krishna. Yeah. This mode of a sannyasi is described in the story of the Avanti Brahman. That so the Avanti Brahman, he comes to that point of this mood of renunciation. That Tamsa staya pratmanistam atyastam purvatamer marshibi am tarisama turantaparam am tarisama turantaparam. Yeah, tamsa staya pratmanistam atyastam purvatamer marshibi am tarisama turantaparam tamo mukundangri nisheva sheva. This is called the sannyas mantra. And that's the mood of a sannyasi. He said, I will cross this ocean of material suffering by taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. That so he's always taking shelter of Krishna in all circumstances. That he's even forbidden to talk with a woman in a secluded place. Lord Chaitanya was an ideal sannyasi, and when he was in Puri, his feminine devotees could not even come near to offer their respects. They were advised to bow down from a distant place. This is not a sign of hatred for women as a class, but it is a stricture imposed on a sannyasi not to have close connections with women. One has to follow the rules and regulations of a particular status of life in order to purify his existence. For a sannyasi, intimate relations with women and possessions of wealth for sense gratification are strictly forbidden. And Srila he speaks about the story of Chota Aridas, who was in the renounced order of life, but who was speaking intimately with a woman that, of course, Lord Chaitanya is a super soul in everyone's heart. He immediately knew that is not appropriate for a renunciant, and therefore he rejected him from the society of his personal associates. That now the first three qualities here, Abhayam Sattva Samstudir Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi. These are the qualities of a sannyasi. So Abhayam, fearless, we discussed already how he must be fearless. Sattva Samsudir, that a devotee always acts for his purification. That and Jnana Yoga Vyavastiti, that be engaged in the cultivation of knowledge. Very important for a sannyasi. Sannyas life is meant for distributing knowledge to the householders and others who have forgotten their real life of spiritual advancement. So this is the duty of the sannyasi. If he's actually advanced and so ordered by the spiritual master, he should preach Krishna consciousness with logic and understanding. And if one is not so advanced, he should not accept the renounced order of life. That, he should preach Krishna consciousness with logic and understanding. So that means less clear what it. Of course, I'm a member of the Sannyas ministry, and that is one of the aspects, certainly, that we are looking for in sannyas candidates, that they are good preachers, that they can explain the philosophy according to Siddhanta, the right conclusion. So sannyasi, or one in the sort of life, is situated in fearlessness, sattva samsuti, purity, and jnana yoga, knowledge. We heard already in the beginning of the 3rd chapter where Srila Prabhupada writes that, yes, if the heart is not pure, one should not take sannyas. Otherwise, one will only be a disturbance. And then the next is for householders. Dhanam Dhammasajahyascha. Charity is meant for the householders. The householder should earn a livelihood by an honorable means and spend 50% of their income to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. Charity should be given only to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. That is charity in the mode of goodness. So only one charity. Further, if it does not require children, he should not enjoy sex life with his wife. Modern society enjoys sex life with contraceptive methods or more abominable methods to avoid the responsibility of children. This is not in the transcendental quality, but is demoniac. Further, if he is able to beget children who will be in Krishna consciousness, one can produce hundreds of children, but without this capacity, one should not indulge only for sense pleasure. Sacrifice is another item to be performed by householders. The best sacrifice recommended in this age is the Sankirtan yajna. The chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then the Svadhyaya Tapa Arjavam. That's for the brahmacharis. The Svadhyaya, the Vedic study, is meant for the brahmachari or student's life. Brahmacharis should have no connection with women. They should live a life of celibacy and engage their mind in the study of Vedic literature for the cultivation of spiritual knowledge. That is called Svadhyaya. Tapas or austerity is especially meant for the retired life, the vanaprastha. So after Grihastha householder life, one should retire. If one lives for 100 years, he should spend 25 years in student life, 25 in householder life, 25 in retired life, and 25 years in the renounced order of life. So without tapasya or austerity, no human being can get liberation. Austerity is required. As far as the Brahminical quality of simplicity is conversed, then we have Brahminical qualities. Arjavam is simplicity. Not only should a particular order follow this principle, but every member be a brahmacharya in a brahmacharya ashram, grihastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram, or sannyas ashram. One should be very simple and straightforward. Ahimsa means not arresting the progress life of any living entity. That's a different understanding than the common people. That ahimsa. All these meat eaters, they hamper the progress of these animals to the next stage, because they are supposed to be imprisoned for a certain time in their body, and it's hampered. One forces them to take birth again earlier. That's thus hampering the progressive life. At any rate, when there is ample food supply for humanity, persons who are desiring to make advancement in spiritual realization should not commit violence on animals. Real ahimsa means not checking anyone's progressive life. Animals are also making progress in their evolutionary life by transmigrating from one category of animal to another. The Prabhupada clearly says one category of animal to another. One go up, animals with a bit higher consciousness than others. And one go up, and there are four ways to come to the human form of life. And now it's the cow. The cow is one of them. Anyway, that's described in the Vedas. So their progress should not be checked simply to satisfy one's palate. This is called ahimsa. Then satyam. Satyam. Moment. This word means that one should not distort the truth for some personal interest. That's Prabhupada's definition of truthfulness, satyam. Then shruti means that one should hear from authority. One should not construe some interpretation for some personal interest. And then he speaks about those who misinterpret Bhagavad Gita. Then akrodha means to check anger. Even if there is provocation, one should be tolerant, for once one becomes angry, his whole body becomes polluted. Anger is a product of passion and lust. So one who is transcendently situated should check himself from anger. And then ri means one should be very modest and must not perform some act which is abominable. Achapalam. Yeah, it's here. Achapalam. Determination means that one should not be agitated or frustrated in some attempt. There may be failure in some attempt, but one should not be sorry for that. He should make progress with patience and determination. And then you have the word tejas. Tejas is for the Kshatriyas. The Kshatriyas should always be very strong to be able to give protection to others. Then there's Shaucham. Shaucham means cleanliness, not only in mind and body, but in one's dealings also. Nati manita, not expecting others, applies to the Sudras. Nati manita, yeah. And then they should not be puffed up with unnecessary prestige or honor. One should remain in their own status. All these 26 qualities mentioned are transcendental qualities. So these are transcendental qualities, the divine, which we need to develop. And then there's a quote, goes to the quote. Okay. Someone wants to read? Do we have the mic?
The first quality of the community, awareness, fearlessness. As long as we are in this material world, there are four principles, of which one is having fearlessness. Fearfulness. What will happen? Because I am determined, not Nahanyate Shari. So I do not want my body to be annihilated, but it will be. Therefore, I am always fearful. This is why Bhayan, we also so because I'm identifying with this body, there is fearfulness. And if by knowledge you can understand that I'm not this body, I'm this great soul, Aham Brahmasmi, and if you are actually convinced, then there is no fearfulness. In the Western countries, there is only one true philosopher, Socrates. He was condemned to death because he said that I'm soul and eternal. So this is knowledge. This is a pain. He was going to be killed. He feared it. But what is this nonsense? He will kill my body. That's all. So it requires very firm knowledge. Na hanyate hanyamani sharire. That is possible. That is possible by jnana. Just like Maharaj, his demon father, whom he Hiranyakashipu, was chastising him in so many ways. But he was not afraid at all, fearless, because he was convinced that I'm not this body and I'm different from this body. It is simply knowledge, no knowledge. And as soon as you come to that position and that I'm not this body, then automatically you become aware of it. There are many instances, just like Dhruva. As a 5-year-old boy, he went into a jungle. He was sitting alone there, aware with no fear. The more you become spiritually conscious, the higher stage of spiritual consciousness is Krishna. Krishna consciousness means, and Krishna's, that's all. Krishna says, Manai Vamsaka. All these living entities are a part in Krishna. So you have to understand this relationship with Krishna, that you are Krishna and Krishna. What is Krishna? Bhagavan? Read further Sattva Samriddhi. This human life is meant for Sattva. Sattva means existence. We are existing and existing, you are existing. Those who are advanced in knowledge, their Sattva existence is cured of this disease of ignorance. Disease of ignorance means I am this body, I am not this body. This purification of my existence is possible. It is simply jnana, knowledge. Because I am in ignorance, that therefore I am thinking I am this body. So it requires a little jnana, knowledge. Then you understand that I am not this body.
Thank you. Now, after reciting these 26 transcendental qualities, Lord Krishna will straight start with the demoniac qualities. That, okay. Text 4. Dampodarpa vimanascha kodaparyushamevasha ahyanam sabhiyatasya partha sampadamashrim. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance, these qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, or son of Prita. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness. That see. Although proud of material or spiritual advancement, demoniac persons simply make a show of religion without accepting any authority or principles. They demand respectabilities without commanding respect. Thus they pave their road to hell. And that's how the purport starts of Prabhupada. In this verse, the royal road to hell is described. The demoniac want to make a show of religion and advancement in spiritual science, although they do not follow the principles. They desire to be worshipped by others. Over trifles, they become angry and speak harshly, not gently. They do everything whimsically. They do not recognize any authority. So, there's a long quote that you can read about that, but a bit too long to read for us now. But Arjuna is hearing this and he's thinking, yeah, I'm demoniac. I want to kill my family members. So Krishna will he sensed that immediately, and he said, Devi Sampavi Mokshaya Nibandaya Surimata Machucha Sampadim Devam Apichato Sipandava. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demoniac qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandava, for you are born with the divine qualities. So Lord Krishna is encouraging Arjuna by telling him that he was not born with demoniac qualities. His involvement in the fight was not demoniac. Because why? Because he was considering the pros and the cons. Anyone who performs the regulative principles of different orders of life is transcendentally situated. And that was his regulative principles here, to fight, to protect religious principles. Let's see. Five. Lord Krishna encourages Arjuna by telling him that he was not born with demoniac qualities. Good. That now we come to the now Krishna continues with the demonic qualities. Tvabhuta sargalokesmin devasura evacha deva vistarasa pokta ashram partameshwini. A son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demoniac. I've already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me the demoniac qualities. So the main point in this verse is that those who are born with divine qualities follow a regulative life. That is to say, they abide by the injunctions of the scriptures by authorities. One who does not follow the regulative principles as they are laid down in the scriptures and who acts according to his own whims is called demoniac or asuric. The only difference is one class obeys to the Vedic injunctions and the other does not. That will be the conclusion at the end, the big difference between the divine and the demoniac. The divine accept the pranam, the proof of the scriptures. They follow the scriptures. And the demonic, they act whimsically, that how they feel. That's, and that will be the connection with the 17th chapter, where Arjuna will say, yes, you have those who follow the scriptures and those who are not following the scriptures. But what with those who concoct their own scriptures and follow that, what's their position? And that is the 17th chapter. Krishna explains this, that if they follow their own rules, concocted rules, then they are influenced by their faith is influenced, or their faith in this influence, in these rules, is according to their association with the modes. We will hear that more. Now, 5. Sampati means that what you possess under your control. There are two kinds of sampati, the divine sampati and the demonic sampati. They are open before you. Now you take up whatever you like. It's up to you. It is not forbidden that Deva Sampati is meant for one class of man, and Asuri Sampati is meant for another class of man. Krishna is open to everyone. Krishna is not monopolized by a certain class of man. Don't think that Krishna is Indian. Krishna is Hindu. Krishna is Kshatriya. Therefore, he is meant for others. No, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is everyone's property. Yeah. So Krishna says, yeah, but Arjuna, because you are a Hindu, your body changes from youth to from take birth, youth, old age, yeah, and so on. No, he doesn't say that. It's for everyone. Everyone's body changes. Krishna doesn't say to Arjuna, because you are a Hindu, you take birth and you are sure to die. That, no, it's for everyone. Everyone who takes birth must die. So Krishna is open to everyone. Krishna is not monopolized by a certain class of men. Don't think that Krishna is Indian. Krishna is Hindu, Kshatriya. Therefore, is meant for others. No, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is everyone's property. If you develop Devi Sampat, then you become fit for Vimoksha, for liberation. What is that liberation? Liberation means coming to the platform of real knowledge. So that's the demoniac qualities go for bondage, and divine qualities helps one to attain liberation. That helps one to go up in the tree towards the root, and then enter the spiritual tree. But Asuric Sampati, they go down. If you develop your Devi Sampat, you become fit for Vimoksha, for liberation. What is liberation? And that is this verse again from 2:10:9 was one, yeah. Liberation means coming to the platform of real knowledge. Mukti means hitva, giving up something. Hitva anyata rupan. I'm spirit soul. Liberation means Janma Mrita Jara, the liberation from these 4 things. No more birth, no more death, no more disease, no more old age. So that's our permanent situation. That's liberation. So people are unaware and they are not interested. Yeah, that's a long, very long. 8. 9 we can read at the end. Good. Back to our so the divine leader regulated life by following the scriptural injunctions and authorities, whereas the demoniac act whimsically without regard for scripture. And now text 7 first. 1 text 7. Tavatim shani vitim shachana vidurashana choshana pinacharu nasatyamte savityate. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done, neither cleanliness nor proper behavior. No truth is found in them. So those who do not follow scriptural injunctions are supposed to be demons. They have no faith, nor are they willing to act in terms of Vedic injunctions. The demons are not clean, either externally or internally. One should always be careful to keep his body clean by bathing, brushing teeth, shaving, changing clothes, etc. As far as internal cleanliness is concerned, one should always remember the holy names of God. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. The demons have now neglected such injunctions, and they think that women should be given as much freedom as men. However, this has not improved the social condition of the world. Actually, a woman should be given protection at every stage of life. She should be given protection by the father in her youngest days, by the husband in her youth, and by the grow-up sons in her old age. The social of women is thus not very good now. The social condition of the demoniac people is very miserable. That yes. So, of course, the demonic do not know what to do, what not to do. This is symptomatic for the mode of passion. That yes, yeah. That and they act only for their own interest. That so there is a story. A man died in the forest, and immediately a vulture and a jackal came, and it was daytime. That I think the jackal eats at night, so it said no need to bury the body, then wait till it's dark. But the vulture, no, it's your religious duty that before the dark to bury the body, to bury the body. So you do that later. Anyway, I think it's a reverse, but anyway, they spoke both out of their own interests because they both wanted to eat a body, and that's and therefore I think it's the reverse. The vulture eats during the day, so he said, "No need. You wait till it's dark. You go home now, and later you bury." The jackal said, "No, it's your yeah." Anyway, the jackal eats at night. That he said yes. And no need to bury it now. That wait till late in the night and I will eat it. So that's the demoniac. They have their own agenda. And therefore many commentators on Bhagavad Gita, they have their own agenda, their own philosophy. They want to push through that. And that's demoniac. It's like the vulture and the jackal. That good. They don't know what to be done and what's not to be done. The demons have now neglected such injunctions, Srila Prabhupada, and they think, yeah, okay, we read that. The social condition of the demonic people is miserable. So text 8. Asatyama pratistam te jigataura nishvam aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kamahaitukam. They say that this world is unreal with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. So the demoniac conclude that there is no cause and effect, no control or no purpose. They say that this cosmic manifestation arises due to chance of material action and reaction. They do not think that the world was created by God for a certain purpose. Prabhupada said chance by chance is in a full dictionary. That by chance, nothing happened by chance. Everything is controlled by Krishna. For them, there is no difference between spirit and matter, and they do not accept the supreme spirit. But factually, although the demons say that life is a dream, they are very expert in enjoying this dream. And so instead of acquiring knowledge, they become more and more implicated in their dreamland. For them, it's only a combination of matter that has produced the living entities, and there is no question of the existence of the soul. Yeah, that Professor Kotovsky said, Swamiji, at the time of death, everything is finished. Then they do not believe in the words of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dakshana Pragatechucha Checha Characham. Under my direction, the whole material world is moving. But this is not very intelligent, because one can see that behind everything that happens in this material nature, this great intelligence that and not nature is working, but not on its own. There is a driving power behind nature, and that's Krishna. Under my direction, the whole world is moving. In other words, among the demons, there is no perfect knowledge of the creation of the world. Every one of them has some particular theory on his own. According to them, one interpretation of the scripture is as good as another, for they do not believe in a standard understanding of the scriptural injunction. That let's here. So here we have the demons assert that the cosmic manifestation arises by chance. They say that there is no God in control, that the living beings are produced simply by matter, combination of matter, and that sex desire keeps everything going. So, yeah, like the scientists say, everything comes from a big bang. There was nothing and then a big bang. But what caused this big bang? Where is this big bang coming from? They are starting somewhere in the middle always. It comes from that, but then that it comes all for nothing. Yeah. Good. Text 9. modern civilization led by the demons is led to destruction. Now, that is mentioned in text 9, Ugra Karmana. Ugra Karma. Etam dristim avastabhya nastatmanalpa buddhaya pavantyuga karmanaksayayo charatorita. Following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engaged in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. Srila Prabhupada speaks of this in the purport. Such materialistic inventions are considered to be advancement of human civilization, but the result is that people grow more and more violent and more cruel to animals and cruel to human beings. Indirectly, this verse anticipates the invention of the nuclear weapons, of which the world today is very proud. Such things are created solely for the destruction of them all. And this is indicated here. Due to godlessness, such weapons are invented in human society. They are not meant for peace and prosperity of the world. And Srila Prabhupada said also, yes, they have these atomic weapons. They will use them one day. And when he was in Amsterdam, he said, in the future, people will live here under the ground. That's quite interesting. It's scary. That's the future of the demoniac developments. That there's one quote online. Yeah. So Krishna says about this blind vision, etam dristim avastapya. Accepting these are the basic principle of this material creation, nasta atmanaha. They have lost their spiritual consciousness. Nasta means lost, atmana means the soul, the super soul. So Atma, Paramatma, the super soul is Paramatma and we are the soul, so they have no knowledge. They manufacture so many demoniac ideas, but the real idea has been forgotten. The real idea is God is great, I'm small. Therefore, I'm an eternal servant of God. This is a simple thing. Nasta means lost. Just like if you lose your intelligence, you will talk nonsense. Nastatmana, there is no God, means nastatmana. He's not very intelligent. He has lost his intelligence. Nastatmana. Why nastatmana? Alpa Buddhaya. The intelligence is not very sharp. Alpa, poor fund of knowledge. On account of poor fund of knowledge, they think there is no God, I'm God. So if you ask them, what's the aim of your life? They say sense gratification. I shall earn money, eat nicely, drink nicely, enjoy nicely. That is the aim of life. They do not know. Etam dristim avastabhya. Their vision is so polluted. Nastatmana. They have lost their spiritual ideas, spiritual sense of Krishna consciousness. The highest principle of spiritual sense means Krishna consciousness to understand God. That is Mahatma. Bhagavad Gita 7:19, they are Duratma. So without becoming Krishna conscious, everyone's life is baffled. He's a demon. The demons are only trying to adjust things materially, which is impossible. So they are busy, prabhavanti, flourishing. Prabhavanti means flourishing, ugra karmanaham. So we have heard about 26 qualities of that are divine, and we heard about the qualities of the demoniac, and in the next section we will hear more about the mentality, demoniac mentality, and the result where they go, Krishna says. So, any questions?
Maharaj, if Big Bang theory is still valid in schools and education, you study now.
I don't know. That's my school time is long time ago. I don't know what they teach today. But I can imagine it. Imagine it is given still some validity.
I understand in some of the states, they have started, United States, some few states,
Yeah,
they have taken it out of the curriculum, that, it is not accepted.
yeah. It's a theory. It's a theory. In the Bhagavatam it is said Lord Brahma is sitting on a lotus flower, and all the planets are in the lotus flower. And then what he does is he starts to move them around so that they come in and not moving around is the Big Bang, maybe. It's going out. It's still anyway, it's all speculation. Yes.
But in the verse 4, the characteristic of ignorance is also mentioned. How can we understand ignorance in the demonic?
Yeah, the ignorance is the cause of demonic life. And that is what we just heard. The demons are alpa buddha, very little intelligence. To say that because they have no knowledge of the soul and the super soul, they have no knowledge of who is in control in this world. And they think themselves in control. That they are completely covered, thinking themselves the enjoyer in this world and the controller. And that is a demonic quality coming from ignorance. That if they would be aware that about Krishna and Paramatma is doing everything in this world, then they would become divine. But unfortunately, they are covered more and more by ignorance, by the mode of passion and ignorance. That more and more ignorance, passion and ignorance. That's specifically for the demons. That combination, that is covering their intelligence, thinking themselves the doer.
Some of them, they ask what is wrong in drinking alcohol. But they're in ignorance, they don't know the bad effects of drinking alcohol.
Yeah, what is wrong of enjoying in life? All these Hare Krishnas are mad. They don't know they are losing their time. Enjoy. No. But that's symptomatic of the demoniac. They are seeing the moment now. They don't see the bigger picture. They don't see where they come from. They have no knowledge where they go. And by that they see only the moment of enjoyment. And that's ignorance. Yes, please. In Kali Yuga, it's mixed. In everyone's heart, we have demoniac and divine in one person. But we have to purify ourselves from the demoniac. Yeah. Something else? Yes.
About the first state is something like 25 and 50.
Yeah.
So all who have that kind of life. Like people who grew up in 25 years at Brahmasari, they have to be really go to the process of it. All that, right? About the factors, their friends. People who did not have that kind of opportunity, how that person can be go through the process of that.
Yeah, that was also if most of us, we came to Krishna consciousness at a certain moment, and then we have to learn everything, the brahmachari principles and so on. That and it's not easy. That it's better to learn it. Kamarachyut prakro dharma bharapatamiyam dulpamanisham chamyam tapyadupanartadam. Brahmachari principles should be learned from the age of 5. But still, even if we learn it at a later age, if death approaches, we must prepare for the next life and renounce ourselves from all family connections and internally at least, and engage fully in Krishna's service in Srila Prabhupada's mission. And that is the idea that that most save is taking vanaprastha. Sannyas is not for everyone, but vanaprastha everyone can take. And that and therefore Prabhupada has arranged, that was the purpose of the guest house in Vrindavan and Mayapur. Those who take vanaprastha, they come to a holy place and serve there. That and that is most safe. Yes. Good. Yes. The Prajapatis, in the beginning of creation, there was no much population. And Brahma created Prajapatis, progenitors of mankind, like Daksha and others, Daksha, Kashyapa and others. And they were empowered to create many living entities. That was their service, creating living entities, giving birth, and that these are the Prajapatis. Yeah. And Kashyapa and his wife Aditi, and Diti, Aditi, yeah, Diti, the Daityas, and I think that's she gave birth to demons, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. And then Aditi, she gave birth to most of the demigods. But also other wives of Kashyapa Muni gave birth to different animal species and so on. These are Prajapatis, very special. If you read the Bhagavatam, you will hear a lot about these Prajapatis. Yeah. Yeah. The Kshatriya is twice born, means he gets also Brahmin initiation. So they know the value of life because they had to protect the religious principles and make sure everyone is engaged in Varna's ashram in doing his duty within according to their social order for the pleasure of Krishna. That was their duty. But of course, they are supposed to do their duty. At the same time, they were mostly in the mode of passion. And therefore, because they were in the mode of passion, their intelligence was, their intelligence, unless they are really transcendental, that is sometimes disturbed by the mode of passion. Therefore, a Kshatriya followed always the instructions of the Brahmins. They followed the instructions of the Brahmins. Because the Brahmins were in goodness and they had the right understanding. That's the Kshatriya spirit. Usually they don't not. They don't. They sometimes they drink some kind of liquor. That anyway, that's they have some license there to do these things. But meat, I didn't hear. Yes.
I heard somewhere that like the European kings from like 500 years ago didn't get corrupt because the kings were above the priests on the social hierarchy. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, but that's we see that in history that Henry VII or something in England that he made his own church. Didn't agree with the Roman Catholics, so he made his own church because they told him he didn't get permission to divorce from his wife, so he made his own church. And anyway, that was interesting. That's the reason of the beginning of a church. It's very auspicious, but it's correct. Of course, they gave other reasons to be apologetic, but yes, that's true. There's in Europe, the history in the Middle Ages was very dark. Therefore, it's called the Dark Middle Ages. Good. We'll have a pause now for 10 minutes, and we resume at 8:20 to hear more about the demoniac. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, we will continue with chapter 16, verses 10 to 18. Krishna further describes the activities, the mentality, and the qualities of one who has demoniac tendencies. Text 10. Just a moment. Kamamasritya dushpuram dambhamanamodam vita moat shahit vasagraham pavartante chuchi vrata. Translation. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac thus illusions are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. That so we just spoke about less intelligence. So in verse 10, the words kaman asritya, taking shelter of lust, explain why the demoniac are called less intelligence or alpa buddhaya, that they have been called alpa buddhaya in the previous verse, and that explains and why they are less intelligence is explained here. So this is the beginning of the description of the demoniac quality. They are always full of anxieties on account of accepting non-permanent things, they still continue to engage in such activities out of illusion. If they have no knowledge and they cannot tell that they are heading the wrong way. The result is that they become more and more attracted to two things: sex enjoyment and accumulation of material wealth. So, Hiranya Kashipu, that gold and cushions or comfort wealth. Although they are gliding toward hell, they consider themselves very much advanced. They think themselves the best. That we'll hear more about that in the next verses, how they think themselves superior. That so demons experience constant anxiety as they run after non-permanent sex enjoyment and material wealth. So we have there Hiranyakashipu. Then we have but then yeah. We go to that was 11, 12. Yeah, we will read these quotes, but first read the next verse. Shintam aparimeyam cha pralayantam upashrita kamupabhoga parama etavat iti nishita asapasa pada kamakoda parayana ihante kamabhogartam anyayenachta sanyayan. They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of their life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. So the demoniac accept that the enjoyment of the senses is the ultimate goal of life. You live only once, enjoy. And this concept they maintain until death. They do not believe in life after death. They do not believe that one takes different types of body according to one's karma or activities in this world. So no knowledge. No knowledge. The laws of nature do not allow a second beyond what one is destined to enjoy. That they don't know. He does not know that there is a witness sitting within the heart, the super soul, is observing the activities of the individual soul. But one who is demoniac has no knowledge of Vedic scriptures, nor he has any faith that, yes, yeah. So this is from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, from one of his songs, Gita Mala. There is no limit to the increase in material desires. This is how it works. One fulfills a desire, then is pierced by the thorns of disappointment and is forced to look forward to another desire. In this way, he continues moving on and on from one desire to the next. Material desires persistently increase. There is no cessation. They are not even stopped by death, but will continue increasing if you keep changing bodies. So that they are controlled by their desires, by their minds. They have no control over their minds. That is what Prahlad said to his father, Anandra Vervisha Tam Tamisham, by your uncontrolled senses, you are on the way to hell. And Hiranyakashipu replied, you think you are more intelligent than me and better in controlling the senses. I will sever your head from your body, then will be finished. That was his reply. That's this excerpt from a letter of a dying devotee. He's seeing how people are in anxiety until death at this very stage. Some of the people are in horrible shape. At night, people are screaming and crying. The shows of karma are chewing them. Here, people are trying to forget their anxieties by getting deeper into illusion. They watch TV on their deathbed. They do crosswords. They read Monday magazines like the Inquirer or Globe. That is so sad. They listen to music and try to absorb themselves in a material sound vibration, but it doesn't do any good. Their anxieties are limitless. When Prabhupada arrived in Los Angeles and he saw people were playing with balls, old people playing with balls or that, and that he said, why are they wasting their time? That with all these things. That anyway, long quotes. 17 maybe later. We go back now. The mentality now is very vividly, demonic mentality is very vividly described in the next verses. Idam matya maya labdam imam papse manoratam idamastidam ape me bhavishat punardanam asamaya hata satura nisyacha paramapi ishvaraham hambohi sidam balavan sukhi ayo bijanavanashmi konyosti satisomaya yakshe dashami modisya iti ajnana vimohita. Now, the demoniac person thinks, his mentality. So much help do I have today, and I will gain more and more into my schemes. Looks like an American. Many are like that. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He's my enemy, and I've killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I'm the Lord of everything. I'm the enjoyer. I'm perfect, powerful, and happy. I'm the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There's none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifice. I shall give some charity, and I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. So that's quite a description. In the Ramayana, you can read Lord Ram and his monkeys is going to attack Lanka. And the generals of Ravan, they have a meeting. Ravan is chairing the meeting. And one general stand up and said, don't worry, you go all home. I alone, I finish them all off. No problem. That and one general stand up after another and makes a similar talk. I will do it on my own, no problem. I'm so powerful that yes, let's see here. So this is materialistic people constantly make exhaustive plans to get sense enjoyment and material wealth. Influenced by money and power, the demoniac thinks himself God, and therefore does not hesitate to act in any single way to increase in his enjoyment. That so yes, we'll fight for money. All the business people, what are they doing? Are they not interested in money? No, very much. They are fighting for it. That anyway, go further. 16. Aneka sita vipranta mojala samavrita prashakta kama bhogesu patanti narake chucha. Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall into hell. Prabhupada writes, he believes in his own strength and does not know that whatever he is gaining is due to his past good deeds, no knowledge. That comes again and again, this ignorance. And Prabhupada points it out. He simply thinks that all this mass of wealth is due to his own endeavor. He does not believe in the law of karma. The demonic think all these things are accidental and due to the strength of one's personal ability. Anyone who comes into competition with such demonic man is his enemy. Therefore, there is a constant strife, war, and enmity all over the world. Each demoniac person thinks that he can live at sacrifice of all others. These are demoniac preachings. He does not believe in performing sakyas or sacrifices. If you, I think 1/3 of the world's wealth is in hand of 100 people or something. It's very demonic. Very demonic. Yeah. He offered a program, Ravan offered a program to the people by which he would prepare a staircase so that anyone could reach the heavenly planets without performing sacrifices, such as prescribed in the Vedas. Yeah. That 17. Atma sambhavita sapta danamana madamvitam yayanti nama jahyaste dambena vidipurvakam. Self-complacent and always impotent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifice in name only, without following any rules and regulations. So they thinking themselves all in all, not caring for authority of scriptures, the demoniac sometimes performed so-called religious or sacrificial rites to show I'm a good man. That I'm a good man. Yeah. So they worship the demigods or manufacture their own god. The word avidi purvakam, meaning a disregard for the rules and regulations, is especially stressed here. These things are always due to ignorance and illusion. Avidi purvakam, disregard for rules and regulations. Now, Prahlad Maharaj told a story of 2P gun that was somewhere in Chicago or something, or Las Vegas. That 2P gun, he was a gangster and he was known that he had 2 guns, but always shoot twice. Like, so 2P gun was in at the lover's lane in his car with a lady, and at a certain moment a policeman came with some light in the night and was shining in the car, and 2P gun felt disturbed. He took his gun and shot the police officer. But to maintain his reputation, he took his second gun and shot it a second time. Of course, then there was great alarm, and he was on the run, hiding somewhere in a house, surrounded by police. And he wrote a note to his mother, my dear mother, that please take care of the cat and so on. And you know, I'm a good boy, but they don't understand me. So he was thinking himself a good person. That so here they are doing religious activities for a show that look, I'm a good person. They think like that. That false ego, 2P gun. That so then yes. Back the PowerPoint. Demons sometimes pose as religious leaders or incarnations of God, perform abominable activities without regard for scriptural authority, and mislead the ignorant. Okay. Now, 18, we'll come to that. But first, I think we have a quote on 17. Whatever they are thinking, it's all right. They are not going to listen to any authority. Whatever they think, that's final. That's all. Why? Pusta Krishna, Stabda, impudent, Prabhupada, no obedience to authority, impudent. And Pusta Krishna, Dhanamana, Prabhupada, Dhanamana, because they have money, they think that's all right. And yeah. And their gurus also will say, yes, it's all right. If the guru said it's not all right, then nobody will come to him. He has to say it's all right because he's also after money and women. That's all. He does not come here to teach anything. This is going on. Therefore, they come in such great numbers. They have now taken a good field. And in America, you go, you say any nonsense, they will accept and pay money. Dana means money. So if you have money, then everyone will respect you. Personally, you may be less than a dog, but because you have money, people will respect you. Is that not so? That, yeah. Yeah. In England, I was guest in John Lennon's house. He has taken a photograph of himself naked, and he's a big man. He gives opinions to newspaper reporters. People go there to get his opinion about some serious subject, and he speaks. The man is so shameless that he's standing naked, and he's an important man because he has money. That is especially prominent in the Western countries. If you have money, then you have everything. Therefore, they are only after money, thinking if somewhere or other I can get money, then I get everything. I get respect, I get honor, I get everything. Bring money somehow or another. Yes. That's John Lennon. 18. Ahankaram balam darpam kama krodam sasamsrita mamatma paradesu patvishanto pyasuyaka. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. So in the purport, a demoniac person, being always against God's supremacy, does not like to believe in the scriptures. He's envious of both the scriptures and the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is caused by so-called prestige and his accumulation of wealth and strength. He does not know that the present life is a preparation for the next life. Not knowing this, he is actually envious of his own self as well as others. He commits violence on others' bodies and his own. He does not care for the supreme control of the personality of God. That he has no knowledge. He thinks himself independent and powerful in every action. If he has an enemy who might check the advancement of his sensual activities, he makes plans to cut him down by his power. That cut him down. That back to so being envious of the Supreme Lord, and scriptures thinking themselves independent and powerful in every action, the demon neglect to prepare himself for a better next life. In the next section, Krishna will speak about their destination, the result of performing demoniac activities. They will be cast into hellish life and more demoniac species that now quote, if he's going to become a dog in the next life, and if he does not take precautions, then he is not envious of him. Is he not envious of himself? In this life, you are prime minister, and in the next life, you are preparing to become a dog. What is the use of being a prime minister? You cannot save yourself. Nature's law will go on. You may become prime minister or minister of any minister, but law will act. If you have contracted some disease, the disease will develop. So the demons, they are always in anxiety. That and the devotees are many times also in anxiety. What's the difference? When we did this 20 years ago, we went on Parikram in Rajamandal, Parikram, and some devotee from Ireland came to me and said, "What's the difference? Before I was suffering, and now I'm in ISKCON. I'm suffering in ISKCON. What's the difference?" And a few months later, he blocked. What's the difference?
This is for service of Lord Krishna, furthermore for the use of mind.
Yeah, that is material anxiety is great suffering. That spiritual anxiety is a sign of love for Krishna. That Tejas Prabhu was in Delhi, and Prabhupada asked him to remain in Delhi to preach to very important people, and was in Delhi, and he struggled just to survive there. And Prabhupada came and said, "It's such a struggle." That said, "Yes, this struggle is your service for Krishna. That is glorious." That but there's a difference. In the demoniac, they feel anxiety because of attachment, material attachment, material expectations. That like when you have a lot of possessions, you are full of anxiety because always things are changing, people try to steal, and so many, completely in anxiety. That because of attachment. And when a devotee may be so-called suffering for Krishna, but he does not suffer out of attachment to anything material. That so it's not material, it's spiritual. It's spiritual. The anxiety is there's no material basis. That and that anxiety is pleasing Krishna. That Prabhupada went to so much anxiety to come to the West and so on. That was, he wanted to serve Krishna in that way. But he went to the anxiety, but every moment he could be very peaceful. Let it all go. You cannot do that with material anxiety. Your mind will not allow. The spiritual level, we go to anxiety, but then we do something else, we forget. That's the difference. That's the difference. That's spiritual anxiety is glorious. That yeah, you can do some research. Read the news on the internet and let me know it's correct. But here, what Prabhupada says here.
When we come to the temple, living in the temple, a lot of people also I see anxiety in the material also.
Yeah.
When they're living in the temple.
Yeah.
So that is considered same as the one who's living in outside.
Mm.
Same as the people who are living in the temple. Although they live in temple, but they have a material some anxiety.
Yeah, the problem is you can bring your body to the temple, but your mind is still with the attachments. No, when you bring your body to the temple, you should also bring your mind to the temple and absorb in Krishna's service and forget about the other things. That we do later. That that's something to that.
Yes, Prabhupada says in this life you are prime minister and next life you will be back to become a dog. And he also comments that Jawaharlal Nehru, he was born as a dog in Sweden.
Yeah. But and that is what an astrologer said. Yeah. Mhm. Anyway, we will hear about the results. Krishna gives them results in the next session, and Krishna will conclude with the essential difference between the demonic and the divine. Thank you very much. Then we will meet at 11. Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada.